welcome to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. You're very, very welcome here today. It is Sunday the 31st of December 2023 and I'm coming to you as always from my little craft room / spare room in the southwest of England, where today it is super rainy, as it has been for days now, super windy, super grey. I have all the lights on, my usual reflection off my grey hair, but and this is a very last minute idea to podcast, so I'm getting all the disclaimers in right at the start. I hadn't planned to podcast before January. I've had a bit of a month in December, kind of lacking motivation. I've been struggling a bit with headaches and lack of sleep, which is just a cycle, isn't it? So I wasn't going to podcast, but as I was up in the middle of the night, some wee thoughts came to me, and I just wanted to jump on, share a bit of my knitting, and share a little something at the end that just was on my mind in the middle of the night. So that might not even be coherent by the time I get to that, but I hope you'll stay. I hope you'll have something nice to drink. I have peppermint tea this morning. If you know, you know. In my lovely new mug that I got for Christmas from Cara, my friend who I did the socks for through the year last year. She, I don't know if you can see some of those things. What does it say? I can't read backwards. It's okay. What does it say? Oh, this is a good start. It's okay to make mistakes. You are pure love and joy. You are capable. Amazing things will happen. You are powerful. You are on the right path. Breathe in, breathe out. I've needed that a bit recently. Trust the process. Always be true to you. You will get through this. Cara made me a 12 days of Christmas Advent, which was not needed, just to thank me for knitting the socks. Wasn't needed. She knows she didn't need to do it, but I had so much fun opening it, and you might see a few wee bits scattered through this podcast. But anyway, I'm on the peppermint tea, if you know, you know, and that's what I'm drinking today. Excuse me as I slurp. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. I hope you had some time to knit. I hope that you were able to just... Sometimes Christmas is the busiest time of the year, but I hope now that it's over. I hope you were able to celebrate, but I hope now that it's over, you've maybe had this little week, unless you had to go back to work, where you've just been able to decompress and spend a bit of time with your needles or your hook or whatever your craft is, because I know some people actually do watch this podcast even though they don't knit. I'm sounding a bit nasally this morning. I do apologise. I've been up for hours, but I look like I've just got out of bed. I was very tempted to podcast in my jammies, you know, if it's good enough for Davina of Little Workroom Crafts, but I did get up, I had a shower. This is better than it was, believe it or not. And I thought I would just jump on here. I should be at church, but woke up with a clangor of a headache, and I'm drinking peppermint tea. Let's just leave it at that. So thought I would make use of my time and jump on here. And I have loads to show you. I knit a lot in December, despite not being motivated to podcast. I knit a lot. Some of them I have here and some of them I don't, but I hopefully have got pictures of things. Also wanted to thank you so much for going over to my lovely friend Hannah, over to her podcast, where her latest it wasn't a podcast, it was a nitty chat with me. I went over to her house, gosh, I can't remember when it was, early December, and I live about 10 miles from Hannah, and we go to the same knit group. She's a good friend of mine, and I talk about her on here all the time, and we just decided to have a chat about knitting, crochet, yarn, all of the things that we love to talk about as knitters and crocheters. If you haven't watched that, do go over. It'll be there forever, but do go over. Everybody seems to have enjoyed it. We kept the giggling to a minimum, and we enjoyed ourselves. And so if you are looking for something else to watch, do pop over. And thank you so much for those who subscribed. She totally deserved to get over the 1,000 subscribers, and I'm so glad she has. And it's been a real encouragement to her too. So thank you so much for doing that. I neglected to tell you that I haven't written notes. And if you're, excuse me, if you're a long time viewer, you'll know that can be dangerous for me. I have a few wee scrappy notes on my phone, and I hope that we'll keep on track. I've given you all the disclaimers right at the start. Now, come on. Pause me, go and get a drink, go and put your feet up, go and get your craft, and come back when you're ready to just sit down and just chat. Forgot to tell you, of course, where you can find me. I'm Ruth Loves to Knit podcast on Instagram. I'm Ruth Loves to Knit on Ravelry, and I'm ruthlovestoKnit@gmail.com on email. The one other thing, sorry, this is going to be a chatty one, is the Mal finishes today, midnight GMT. I will not be stopping it at midnight GMT. It'll be tomorrow morning when I get up. Thank you. What a time it has been. I have really got a frog in my throat today. It has been so much fun. I'm so glad I extended the finishing time for myself as well as everybody else. I had a real avalanche of emails and people following the hashtag and entering in the last few days. I think the reality's hit that it's nearly finishing. And some people have done many projects. Some people haven't finished the projects, but they just wanted to be counted in the chat thread on Instagram. And I am so thankful that you joined in. We had so much fun. The Dust 'em Off Mal. I put my little picture up here one last time that my daughter did for me way back in the hot summer. And I hope you've enjoyed it as much as me. If you're wanting to look at the prizes again, I did do a one-off sort of Mal chat where I showed prizes, and I have one more prize that has been added to that. A lovely bag from Hannah, another skein of yarn, and a few wee bits and pieces. So I'm going to be picking winners in probably the next week or so, and I will do a special sort of prize winner chatty thing about the Mal just to close it all off next month. And I won't put it in an ordinary podcast because I know everybody didn't enter and everybody didn't want to be part of it. And it'd be very boring for some people, but hopefully, I think it's like 7 prizes now, including a voucher, a voucher. And I think that's pretty generous. I think you're ski whiff. I think you're moving on me. Do you know, every podcaster I think feels that when they haven't podcast for a while, you feel like you've never done it before. I'm in a very echoey room. I do apologise. I cleared out the craft room for my mum coming at Christmas, and I've put very little back in it again. It's all stacked away in plastic boxes, and I don't know where anything is. It was a quick turnaround. I don't know where my ball winder is or my Swift or anything. And that's my job probably tomorrow on New Year's Day to get it all, go through it, get it sorted out. I have yarn here, obviously you can see it poking out, but I need to get my bits and pieces back in here again. It's the cleanest it's ever been, I think, and the emptiest. Didn't want my mum to, smother on the yarn fumes when she was here. But yes, I have very little, actually sitting beside my desk, this is all I've got. Any of you had watched my Instagram carpet stain remover? Anybody watch my Instagram, you'll know our wee puppy. Oh, it is absolutely pouring. You maybe be able to hear it. Our wee puppy has regressed, although she's improved a wee bit since my husband came back from Ireland. As you know, my husband was in Ireland for Christmas. She was a naughty girl over Christmas. And so I had to order some more carpet cleaner. But however, what can you do when you take on a puppy? You take on all that sort of stuff too, don't you? And Clemmy has definitely let us know that she's here over the Christmas period. I found it really stressful. I think there's a reason why women over 50 don't have babies. But anyway, you have to take the rough for the smooth when you have a puppy. But now that their main carer, I was just the spare, now their main carer is here. They're as happy as Larry. They were both really off when he was away. But now, anyway, he's back and they're all sorted. So that is around and around and around on tangents. And I've one more thing to mention before we get into the nitty goodness. And I had the hashtag you feel free in 23. Well, obviously that's finishing today. And every so often I did a random pick for somebody to win a pattern prize. And I've done one last final pick, and I'll put the name on the screen as well. But it is Fee_from_Oz. So Fee from Oz. If you can get in touch with me, please maybe email me. I'm finding it hard to keep track of the Instagram. You could send it to me in Ravelry as well, but you might have to wait for me to answer. Just send me a wee message with your Ravelry info and what pattern you'd like, up to about the value of maybe £8, I'm going to say, and I will get that sent through. And thank you so much for taking part in that. If you haven't looked at that hashtag, you feel free, just the letter U, feel free in 23, go over and have a look. Gosh, you're a talented bunch. You really are. And I'm so thankful that you put that wee hashtag on the bottom of anything you posted on Instagram. So then, sorry, I told you it was going to be a chatty one. The other thing I wanted to say is thank you for all the Twinset and Purl patterns that you have bought in December. Oh my goodness, thank you to the Twinset and Purl girls, Joe and Rachel. I knew I would get emotional. They have donated all of their sales to Lamb Hospital in Bangladesh, where I used to work as a midwife. I think the last time I looked, it was nearly £1,500, and they did a buy one get one free for their birthday. So you have been buying patterns up one side and down the other. The difference, £1,500 or maybe more by now, will make to people in that hospital, I can't even tell you. I was able to send off nearly £600 as well this month from Ko-fi donations, from ad revenue, from some money that I got from a D-stash. It all means so much, and they're blown away. The people who organise all of this are blown away that this is coming from knitting. They can't get over that. They can't get over that us knitters are doing this for the hospital. And thank you again, Joe and Rachel. Oh, just cannot even get over that you're so kind and so generous when you have so much going on in your own lives. And thank you, and thank you for buying the patterns. We had a lovely Zoom the other night. Oh gosh, feels like years ago now. Saturday week ago, 23rd, and it was so nice to meet people who watch our podcasts, and so nice to meet. I've never met Joe and Rachel, but we're rectifying that this year at some point. Because actually Joe only lives about 2 and a bit hours from me. So thank you. And of course that has to lead into the fact that there's a new, very relaxed, very unofficial mal, no, it has to be a knit along, doesn't it? Because it's knitting. Starting in January right through to December. And it's the TMP Year 24. And I am going to be knitting the Twinset and Purl patterns that I have and that I will purchase, because she's at least 2 more coming that are right up my street. That's Joe. And I have many of their patterns. I have knit some in December, but if you would like to join me for T&P, I'll put it on the screen, T&P Year 24, don't know my own hashtag, T&P Year 24. There will be just random drawings from that. It's only going to be on Instagram. I don't want to make a big deal of it, a big fuss of it. Rachel and Joe have said that there may be some pattern giveaways on my behalf. That just hasn't been ironed out yet. But if you want to knit some of those lovely patterns that you bought this month, please jump on Instagram, and I suppose we could do it on, I haven't thought it through, let's do it on Instagram, and I'm sure email will be available too at some point, but I'm just giving you the heads up. It's a whole year, so do 1 or 20. I'm going to do something every month. I think I'm going to, once I get my stash resorted, I'm going to probably put yarn with pattern, and I think I might do a lucky dip like I did with the sock yarn, and just pick one out every month. And they have everything. They have cowls, shawls, socks, sweaters. So there's plenty to choose from, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I think that's it now. I think I've finally done, and it's only 14 minutes, so people will not be happy anyway. Anyway, I'll try better next year. I know I won't promise. I'll always have too much chat. Right, let's get into some knitting. I'm just going to go through my finished objects as they come to me, and it has been a very, at the beginning of the year I spent 6 weeks convalescent after an operation, and all I did was socks, and I think I've bookended in December. I've knit a lot of socks. I've definitely got my sock mojo back. I'm finding concentration quite hard at the minute, and lack of sleep doesn't help, and when you're sitting up in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, socks are just the best thing to be knitting on. No pattern, well, there's a few patterned ones, no pattern needed, no thought process needed. I use 9-inch circulars, so it's round and round and round and round, but there's a few variations here. It's not all vanilla, but I'll show you just go through them. Now the first pair aren't for me. You know, if you watch this podcast at all, you know that my local yarn shop is the Woolly Beater in Oakhampton, and lovely Laura, we have a knit group. I'm sorry, this is so scattered. Right, Ruth, calm down. Lovely Laura, who owns the Woolly Beater, has been coming round to the knit group. We used to meet in the Woolly Beater, but there's a few of our older ladies, maybe, say can't get up the stairs now to where the table is, so we meet in a coffee shop, and Laura's been coming around and meeting with us as well, which we're thrilled about. But the last day before Christmas, she brought a big bag and just told us to put our hand in, and we all got a skein of yarn. And Cara, who I've already mentioned, was there. She always comes to knit group. She can knit, but she doesn't knit very often, and she put her hand in and got a skein or a ball of yarn, and I was sitting beside her. I think I was sitting beside you, Cara, and I could see that she was thinking, what am I going to do with that? So I took it and I knit her a pair of socks. And it's Opal Beauty. It's in German, but I think it says it's got Edelweiss extract and vitamin E. Your lovely German viewers will be able to tell me. And it is, you all know Opal, absolute brilliant wee yarn, super soft, it says in English. And that's what I was looking for, the colourway. It says beauty and wellness. There you are, Carrie, I'll be sorted. I'm not even going to try. There. If I said it doesn't sound nice. Dampfbad. Oh no, I never did German at school. So, and this is what we ended up with. That name, in my accent and my English sounds awful, whereas these are beautiful. And these are the wee socks. Now they're not matching. Cara's not a bit bothered. Hope that lighting is okay. No options in the winter in the UK, or in the summer, or in the autumn. I don't know what it is about stripes, but they literally knit themselves, don't they? You just knit to the next stripe, knit to the next stripe. I did a shadow wrap heel so that the stripes wouldn't be broken up, but no, these ones are all right. I have done several shadow wrap heels in my socks that I'm going to show you, and I keep getting a hole. Now I followed both. I've done many shadow wrap heels. I followed the Earth Tone Girl tutorial. I followed Alex of My Yarny Corner. Shouldn't have holes, and I've been getting little holes. You know when you knit in your last round, you don't purl back, you knit right round. When I come back round, there's a wee hole. Now these ones aren't too bad. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've just sort of darned it up. But Cara, there's your socks. I have seen her and forgot to take them to her, but I thought, oh well, I'll show them on the podcast then instead. And they're just lovely, quite sort of spring-like socks, aren't they? And I did them a wee bit longer, obviously, because I was using 50-gram skeins all through the year, but this is 100-gram. There is a bit left, so I'll give it to her and she can use it if she needs to darn. She needs to darn them. So that's that. Well, I'm sure that'll not be the last pair I'll do for Cara. She's so knit worthy, but I'll get those to her probably this week. I've missed knit group over the Christmas, but the coffee shop was shut, so we couldn't meet anyway. There's something about peppermint tea, isn't there? It's very soothing. Okay, these aren't in any chronological order. They're literally just as they're piled here. The next pair, I haven't been doing so much car knitting in the last couple of weeks because the kids' activities have been off for Christmas. But in the early part of December, I did a lot of car knitting, waiting for the kids, and I had cast on a pair of socks called the String of Heart Socks. Keep everything together. The String of Heart Socks by Maddie Designs. You see the lovely pattern there. And I've had this in my library forever. But I bought it whenever I had sort of lost my sock mojo, put it in my files, which are up there. Anything I have printed out goes up here. And finally got it out. But I was sitting in the car, and where I have to sit in the car for my son, he goes to Army Cadets, is right up sort of into Dartmoor, and it's very dark. So I have a whole, I wait for him because we live 10 miles from town, so it's ridiculous to drive 40 miles to for him. The amount of diesel I'd have to use would be ridiculous. So I've just got into the habit of waiting. As usual, my nose is itchy in this podcast. I do apologise. And I have it all. Bring a coffee. I download something on my iPad. I have my neck light. And I'm all sorted. And I don't know if people think I'm weird or not, sitting in the middle of nowhere knitting. But anyway, but this night, my neck light died. I hadn't charged it. It was near the end of he was about to come out anyway. So these are the String of Heart socks, but not as you know it. So I'll show you them. The beautiful pattern. So you see it goes on both sides, and the yarn's beautiful too. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I couldn't see to continue it down, so I just stopped there. It should have come the whole way down the foot, but I really don't think it matters because it'll be in my shoe. So and I have been recently I thought I'd done that wrong. I have been, I've done it. I've done a different length. Look. I'm doing well. Oh, it's about 2 rows. It's about 2 rows. Anyway, and you see how it comes straight, it comes down from the rib straight into the pattern. Oh, it's gorgeous. That's car knitting. 2 rows extra on this one. They're for me, nobody cares. But what I was going to say is I have a wee pair of welly boots, wee shorty welly boots, which I've used to walk the dogs. We live quite rurally. The roads are messy, and wearing ordinary shoes, we would say in Northern Ireland, you just be claried. So I have started knitting longer socks. These are much longer than I would normally here leg, and a longer rib, because I am the owner of 2 lovely cut heels. They were blistered, now they look worse, because I took the dogs out over Christmas and my socks went down into my boots. So all of the socks I'll be knitting from now on, I think, are going to have a longer leg and a longer cuff, but hopefully the same size cuffs. You don't come here for perfection. And so they don't slip down. So that I'm trying anyway. This yarn is so soft. We had a wee impromptu knit group here ages and ages ago. I can't remember why they were here, but more than welcome to come here. I have a nice big kitchen table that we all sit round, and don't know whether, was it whenever I was recovering, or I can't remember, but anyway. But Caroline, member of our group, had brought some yarn to swap, and I gave her some of mine, and this is some yarn she put on the table, and I picked it up because of the softness of it, and it's made by penguins with dog hair, made by penguins, and it's 85% merino, 15% nylon. You definitely do feel the difference when it's only 15% nylon on the socks. It definitely does feel so much softer. 400 meters, and there's no, can't see a colourway. It's got a an extra thing stuck over it. I'm going to say it's pink. And they have knit up. Oh, it was like knitting with silk. It was beautiful. They've knit up, and I think I just did a heel flap and gusset for that, and the wedge toe. So look, like you think I would have seen. That's slightly longer. Anyway, it doesn't matter for me. They've got the beautiful ring of hearts, isn't that what it's called? String of hearts on both sides. So there's a left and a right, and I'm chuffed to bits with them. But that's the reason why they don't go the whole way down. But I think I did it so that it, it ends on the tip. So that's the second pair of socks. These socks I showed whenever I was with Hannah, And these are a Twinset and Purl pair. Put this out of the way. Let me see if I can find the pattern. These are called the Colin Socks. And they are fully patterned. Again, there's a left and right. So I haven't put them on the blockers because sometimes it's easier to see patterned socks off the blockers. That's the left one. And then that's the inside. And then that's the right one. And these are called the Colin Socks from the Bridgerton collection. I think I've got somebody else's teeth in today. And this is what the pattern picture's like. So I'm working through my patterns for Twinset and Purl. I think, what did I tell you? I've got 34 patterns. I have knit some of them before for botanical yarn, but obviously I don't have those. And again, it's a longer leg, so hopefully they'll work okay. And the yarn I used for this was, if you watched my last proper podcast, I can't tell Sweden from Norway. This was hand-dyed yarn that I got in a swap box from the person who had dyed it, and it's Henrietta's, I said it was Norway, SE, Sweden, sometimes, Ruth. And she dyes yarn and sent me some of it, and I decided that these would be perfect. I think you can see the pattern really well on them. So I haven't worn those, so I can wear those now. I've got a wee bit left over. She gave me it in 250-gram balls. See the lovely, sorry, rustling. See the wee bits. Gorgeous, and it was lovely to work with as well. So yes, I do know the difference between NR and SE. My brain just doesn't work sometimes. That's just it. Okay, the next pair of socks are Christmas at Bridgerton. Don't think I have a photograph on the pattern. Hang on. No, I didn't print, so that's no good. So there's another Twinset and Purl pattern. Rachel completely let us down, raised our hopes, then dashed them that series 3 of Bridgerton was coming out in December. I'll never trust her again. And because of that, she was encouraging us to all knit Bridgerton socks, and I think it's coming out in February. But anyway, so I knit the Christmas at Bridgerton. Oh, this isn't going to show. Let me see if I put my hand down if it gets it. It is gorgeous. It's got lace at the back, and I did this the right way. I did it the whole way down and beautiful lace at the front. See, it's just really not working well. I'm sorry. You can look up the pattern pictures for them. Where did I put my? I did have sock blockers. I don't know where they are. I don't know where I've put them. Anyway, it's a story of my life. Don't know where I put them. Going back into rooms. Don't know why I've come out of them. All the rest of it. But these were done in Regia Yak, which I've never knit socks with before. Where is the tag? Where is the tag? Here we go. So, Regia Yak, I got it in the woolly beater. I got it for something else and didn't like how it was knitting up, but so I thought I would keep it for these socks. I think I am going to do a wee mini sewed about the different sock yarns that I've enjoyed working with. Laura very kindly gave me a ball of yarn in the Lucky Dip bag at Christmas, but she also gave me one of her hand-dyed ones to knit up as well. So this is 58% wool, 28% polyamide, and 14% yak. And I hadn't even thought of knitting socks with it, and they're lovely. They really are. And I love the colour. I think that's good for the Christmas at Bridgerton. Wish you could see it a bit better. There you go. In your face. And then the other. So I haven't worn any of these socks. Again, I did these legs longer. I just went with pattern. So the cuffs, maybe I should have done it a wee bit longer for my just personal use. Heel flap and gusset. Oh dear me. Did you see that? I had to come right through, and highly recommend that pattern too. Rachel's patterns are so well written. If you've never knit socks before, one of the Twinset and Purl patterns would be perfect for you. And then we're getting there. Last pair of socks. I finished them last night. Just a vanilla pair. They aren't blocked or anything. And I knit them in Felt Fusions. And the colourway is Heart on Your Sleeve. I've had this in my stash for, I don't even remember how I got it, when I got it. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to cast it on. I didn't have my ball winder and my Swifts, so I just sat and did it round my knees, you know. And it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 425 meters, and I did do the longer cuffs the same length. And I did a shadow wrap heel because they're slightly striped, didn't want to knock that off. They're not showing up as beautiful. There we go. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I've got quite a wee bit left of those, so I'm sure that'll be included in something else whenever I need a wee scrap, I'd say, or yeah, so there's quite a wee bit left. So my last pair of socks. So I've done 4 for myself. Don't often knit socks for myself these days. I have a massive box of socks, and I think I'm gonna I don't really wear shorty socks, so I don't usually knit shorty socks for myself, but I've gone from sort of knitting about a 30 to 35 row leg to knitting well over 60, to good 6-inch leg, so, and cuff. So I think I'll keep doing those and start replacing the ones that I've got and give them to a loving home that would make the most of them, so that they're not going down into my boots, because even in the summer I'll probably have to wear those wee shorty boots for dog walks and taking them out into the garden and all that. I bitterly regret my life decisions from that last dog walk. Then another wee thing that I did right at the start of December, and I've worn it so much it really needs washed and reblocked. And if you remember before, a lovely viewer had gifted me a pattern called the 135 Riptide. I knit the number 3 from JST Designs, and I thoroughly enjoyed knitting it, and I've worn it, I've thoroughly enjoyed knitting it, and I've worn it quite a bit. I did it in a silk blend from, I've said that, can't remember who. Oh, I can't remember, it's in probably my last podcast, and I've worn it quite a lot, and I just thought, I'll cast on the reason it's called 135 is 1 skein of yarn, 3 skeins of yarn, 5 skeins of yarn in the yarn that the person knit the item in. But I knit this, and it's actually gone in on itself because I've worn it so much, and you probably not be able to see you can't see the colours. Can't see. And it's just like a wee skinny scarf, but I've worn it so much I really need to block it out, because it's probably not ideal that I did it in a very, very good yarn, but I love it. But I would need to block it right out again to, sorry, I'm putting that over my mouth, to get the lace. Let's see the sort of the curly lace. And it's just, you can see how long it is. It's done with Zakami Yarns DK, 1 ball. And you see there, it's got the stretch on it, but as I say, it needs washed, and I have worn it loads. See there you go, and the softness of this is lovely, and just it was so cozy, just round my neck and in the house. I'm sorry the lighting's so bad today, but anyway, so that was quite Christmassy, you know, the colours, but as I say, I do need to, I mean, you could block that out twice the size. And I say that's from just a one-off skein from Zakami Yarns. I think I got it in a, you know, they did a yes no box last year, in December last year. I think I treated myself to it, and so that's what I knit with that. But I think it would be better in a plain solid yarn, but anyway, that's that. Then the last 2 things are wonderful. So I still have a stitch marker on to tell me which side going on. So, oh no, 3 more things. I forgot, I haven't got one of them with me is the reason why. I'm going to put a picture up here. You know that oh gosh, I feel like it's night time. I really apologise. It does look like night time outside. I did the Eva cardigan from Petite Knit. Can you hear the rain? For my daughter Eva. She has worn it to death. I don't have it here. She's worn it. I'll put a picture of her wearing it. It's as good as I could get. She didn't want her face in it. it's a very hard colour to pick up on the camera, but that's it. That's exactly it, actually. And I used New Fashion Double Knit from Woolcraft, again from the Woolly Beater, and for an acrylic yarn, it's lovely. Shade 39, and it's a real foresty green, and she loves it. And she's worn it a lot. So that finally got finished. That was on the needles a while. And then my last two things, I mentioned them to you in the last podcast, and I have them finished. And one is this beautiful, stunning, as bright as it's showing, Korean poncho from, can I put it on? You know what my temperature's like. Oh, love it. I really don't need it. There's no heat on, but as usual I'm on fire. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? I absolutely love it. You'll all know it if you watch Amy Palko of the Meaningful Stitch. Did I bring the pattern? I did. This is her beauty in this beautiful yellow, which will be done, obviously. I have to do a yellow. It's the Korean poncho, which I put into the Coorie in Cal that the Thoughtful Knitter is doing, so go and check her out. Korean is a Scottish phrase word for just getting cozy, staying in, and believe me today, you want to stay in, and just, I think she's written here what she's written, snuggling up, getting cozy, and enjoying the gifts of a well-tended hearth. Well, we don't have a hearth, but I don't need a hearth. I have an inbuilt hearth. I did do about an inch less on the collar, which actually I probably could have done it an inch more and tucked it down, or I think if I do another one I might even do it an inch less again. I have more chins than I need, so it impedes my neck a bit, but this yarn has been a delight as well. I got it whenever I was up in Edinburgh at Easter from Ginger Twist Studio, and Amy did her sample from Ginger Twist Studio yarn. This is a slightly different base, but it's Tweed Treat DK. What a treat it was to knit with. Look at the colour. I mean, it is that bright, and I'm proud of it. I did do helical knitting, alternated skeins, but I don't know if you needed to. Now, Amy's pattern, let me see, said you needed, obviously they give you a wee bit of leeway on the amount that you need, but she said 550 yards. Well, I only used 3 of these skeins and I didn't use the whole thing, and I'm not small, and there's 225 meters in each one of those. I still have one left, which I will do something beautiful with. So I reckon you could get away with 3 skeins, and it's well long enough, and it didn't block it massively. I don't know if you'll be able to see how long it is. No, you won't. But I mean, it goes right down. I was just going to keep knitting until I used all the yarn, but I think it would have been down to my knees. So I guess it's just how tight or how loose you knit. But anyway, I got away with 3 skeins with a wee nubbin left over of this beautiful Twinset and Purl in the Brain, Ginger Twist Studio, and I definitely have plans for another one of these, because whenever you have your own internal thermostat that doesn't work very well, a poncho is just perfect, because it lets in air when you need. You can just wing it off, and it's just so comfortable. And again, this yarn is just like wearing silk. It's beautiful. So well done, Amy, too, on this. I think it was, you can see the nice line down. Can you see the nice line down? Yeah, nice detail down, and it's down the back as well. So that's the Korean poncho. And last but by no means least is this beauty. I talked about that I was going to do it in my last podcast. It's Always in My Heart by Isabell Kraemer. Isabell did a very, very generous sale. I don't know if it's still going on actually, but maybe at the beginning of December. I realised I had so many of her patterns, I couldn't buy anything in the sale. But this is my rendition of this. I just love it. And this is what I did. and this is in silk. So if you remember, where is it? I've used, I did the small. There's a small and a large. I had enough yarn for the large, but I have so many large shawls, and this as well, big enough, that I just thought, you know what, I'm going to just stop. So the beautiful golden yellow. Now this was given to me by a wonderful podcast viewer quite a wee while ago, so I hope you're still watching and that you can see I have thoroughly enjoyed using the yarn you sent me. I mean, look at the drape. Oh. And so the golden yellow is Treasured Goddess yarn. It's from the US, so it wouldn't be something I would get my hands on. It says DK Luxe. It is baby alpaca, silk, and 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. Oh, and it's 225 meters per 100 grams, and it's called Poseidon's Trident. And then the color I put, so that was my main color, and then my CC I got on a D-stash is Banshee Yarns. I think that might be American too, is it? I'm not sure. And it is the colorway Dorcha, and it's the same makeup, 70 alpaca, 20 silk, 10 cashmere, and the same yardage. And I have enough left that I could do the opposite. So I could make this the grey brown, and I could make this the yellow. I might just do that, you know. But this is, I mean, Divine doesn't cover it. What is it? Caroline from the Arya Bark is stunning. It's stunning. It's just, I can't even explain it to you. You can see the detail and such an easy pattern, slip stitches, and oh, and look at it. I mean, the colours. Thank you to the person who gave me that. It is just us to die for. I'm so blessed. I really am, to be able to knit with that composition of yarn. Oh my goodness. So, and it dried really quickly as well. So I only finished it a couple of days ago, blocked it on the floor, on my play mats, that's my blocking mats, and it was dry within hours. I did think I'd made a mistake though by using silk for the slip stitches, because I was worried that it wouldn't show, but I think it's been fine. The first few rows looked a bit messy, a bit sort of and I thought, oh, I've done the wrong thing, but no, I haven't. It was gorgeous, and I look forward to wearing that so much. It's just, I mean, oh, it's lovely. I love it. And this is just divine too. Actually, just leave it on. I'm not going bright red, so we're all right. And those are my knits for December. Now, I did well. I didn't go out much. I didn't get much sleep, so I was knitting in the early hours of the morning a lot. I did a lot of car knitting till about three-quarters of the way through December. I always have something. I knit every day. It is, who was I watching? I was watching a Nina last night, lovely Annie Uti knits, and she was saying it's just, she has to knit every day. It's her fuel. It's her, yeah, I would say the same. It's her calm place. Even though whenever it's a difficult thing that frustrates you, it's her calm place. It regenerates her, it recharges her, and I'd say that's exactly the same. If I am stressed or I'm grumpy, or I go to the needles, and that's where I find peace. Obviously in other things too, but and I just, everything Anina said resonated with me. Definitely, yeah, definitely. Well, I have I should say a trigger warning maybe for this. And can you be sitting down? And don't have any hot drinks in your hand, because I have some shocking news. Are you ready? Now you've been warned. I have nothing on my needles. I have no whips, nothing. Are you all still okay? I finished those socks. Where did I put them? I finished those socks last night. and I have nothing on my needles. I don't know how I feel about that. It's lovely to clear your needles by the end of the year. It was lovely. I've done everything I said I was going to do. I have ripped out a lot of things because they weren't bringing me joy through the year. But I have nothing. I have a whip bin. It literally is, I think, meant to be a waste paper bin, and it's empty. There's nothing in it. So what am I going to cast on? I have no idea. I could have come with a whole load of plans, but I don't have any. I don't know where half my stash is. So I'm going to go through my stash. I'm going to knit a Twinset and Purl pattern. Actually, probably this one. I'm probably going to knit this one. So you're not all panicking. I do have some plans. It is the Pine Forest Stag Socks. Love cables. So that's probably going to be cast on. Oh, my stomach's rumbling. I don't know what it is about podcasting, but my stomach always rumbles. No idea what yarn I'm going to use. I have no idea. I always like to have a garment, a shawl and socks. Maybe multiple of those. And I am going to look through my books. I'm going to look through what I have in stash. I'm going to pair some up. So you'll just have to watch next time to see what I've come up with. But yes, it was quite weird to think that I have nothing on the needles. I always have I'll need to get a vanilla sock on the needle because I need those for knit group so I can chat and not have to concentrate. I might just start on my Marie Curie sock quest in January. I think I maybe did say in the last podcast, but thank you all of my viewers who sent in socks. I got a lovely email from the doctor who, her name's gone for me, Sherlock Knits is her handle on Instagram. I got a lovely personal email from her saying that an awful lot of you had mentioned that you heard about it from me, so that's lovely, and thank you so much for your generosity and just the love and those stitches that you've sent to someone who's going through such a hard time at this time of year. And we'll do it all again next year, maybe, will we? So I'm leaving you on a bit of a cliffhanger. I'm excited. I don't know what I'm going to knit, but I'm going to have a lot of fun planning. I was given some gorgeous things for Christmas. I got a voucher for Amazon, which I've used for storage. I've ordered some more of these metal things, and I'm going to put them on my landing and get things cleared up a wee bit. So yeah, it's very practical but a lot of yarn came into this house as gifts. A lot of lovely jeanish kind of stuff. That's a bungalow word. Bits and pieces, notions is what I'm trying to say. I was going to start showing you, but literally you'll be here for 4 hours. But as I said, I will show you things as they come up. Some lovely dyers sent me giveaways. One beautiful viewer sent me the most gorgeous yellow yarn, which is behind you, that's why I'm looking. I got a lovely Christmas present from Hannah. I treated myself, my father-in-law gave me some more money for Christmas, so there might be something coming from that. But I wanted to show you, I've already shown you a mug from Cara, and then I wanted to show you this, which me and my daughter absolutely love, and I need at the moment. Radiate positive vibes, the hippo of happiness. So that's gone up in here somewhere. And then you might think I'm mad, but I was given yarn, I was given notions, I was given money, I was given lots of beautiful things, but this is honestly my favourite thing, and Cara gave me it. Can you see her? Like, grey hair, red glasses. This should be my thumbnail. Look, the knit. Oh, I absolutely love it. It's so simple, but that literally, that's my favourite Christmas present. Thank you, Cara. Oh, I love it. And that's gone up in here too, with my little granny who sits on her rocking chair. And I've got my rocking chair back up here. I was struggling to sit on it to knit because of posture, but if any of you saw, I got like this cushion thing, and now I can sit on my rocking chair with the cushion and knit till my heart's content and I don't get shoulder pain or back pain. So it's great. Anyway, well, that is it. That's the knitting. As I said at the start, I have a few thoughts I want to share with you that came into my head in the middle of the night. So if you're brave enough to stay for that, you know, I'm a Christian and I love to share the good news that I have. But if you don't want to stay for those few scattered thoughts, I'll say goodbye to you now. I wish you a very, very happy new year. Get those finished objects pictures if I can get this up today. If it doesn't go up today, forget it. Thank you so much for supporting me this year, honestly. In friendship, in emails, in lovely messages. I can't tell you how much it means. As we all say, we couldn't do it without you, no point. I don't have words to thank you so much. There's a million other podcasts you could watch, but yet you watch me rambling a couple of times a month. It's 3-year podiversary next month, so watch out for that. I will continue as long as I can keep my head straight and I enjoy it. This isn't my full-time job, but it's just meant the world to me, the connections that I've made. It has been just wonderful. I'm waffling now and getting a bit emotional. But if you're leaving me now, Happy New Year. I'll see you next month. I hope that you can get your knitting out for a few days if it's still holiday season where you are, and that you'll keep on knitting. And I'll see you next year. Bye. But if you're staying, literally just a few wee thoughts that came into my mind. You know, maybe one of the reasons I haven't podcast this month is I love to share something at the end of every podcast and I just had nothing to say. I wanted to come on and I wanted to share something that would really set us up for the new year. I might get a bit emotional. But over the past month or more, I felt so restless, so conflicted, so emotional, pearly, grumpy, irritable, overwhelmed, sinking, and probably hard to live with. Don't ask my husband, please. I felt a bit like I was watching my life from the outside. I was, of course, functioning as I have 2 kids. I have responsibilities. I can't just stay in bed. You know, I could blame watching the news. Who wouldn't feel all these things when we see man's inhumanity to man and the suffering and the pain? Then, of course, I felt guilty because what do I have to worry about or complain about compared to those poor people I'm seeing on my screen? I could blame the menopause, and I do, which has definitely taken me down some dark roads this year, with all the many horrible symptoms, the headaches, all the things, and medication not working. I could blame feeling completely overwhelmed all the time and not even recognising the person I used to be. Again, thanks hormones, thanks menopause. Although all these things have definitely attributed to these feelings, I have had to be honest with myself. I've been seeking help in all the wrong places. Look, don't get me wrong, I will continue to seek the right balance of HRT medication, and I'm very thankful for it. And if you need medication, be thankful that you can get it. But as I was wide awake in the silly hours of this morning and feeling unsettled and discombobulated, the only word I can think of, I wanted to feel calmness and peace. Matthew 11:28 kept coming to my mind. It says, "Then Jesus said, 'Come to me, all you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest.'" I was so upset and tired and grumpy and feeling sorry for myself, and everything was annoying me. And I know I don't have the burdens like those folks that I'm watching on my television. I don't have an illness that could kill me. And I know many of you are dealing with awful situations in your life, but I was feeling really low. I wanted the peace that was talked about in Philippians 4:7. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. You know, I usually quote scripture from the New Living Translation so that everyone can understand, but I do think the King James version of this verse resonates more with me. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Passes all understanding. I knew this peace well over my years as a Christian. even in really, really difficult situations. Why now is it seemingly so hard to catch hold of? Then I realised really clearly that I hadn't been doing what I continually tell you and others to do. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. I don't feel still ever these days. In any situation, I've always just stopped and spent time in his presence. You know, the old devil just loves getting a foothold in our mental health struggles, our emotions, our lack of self-worth. The list is endless. He loves to kick us when we're down, and I've been letting him. It's the truth. Isaiah 40 verse 31 says, "But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint." Look, at 3 o'clock this morning, I didn't immediately click my heels and head off skipping. All the things that are affecting me are still there, just the same as they were yesterday. But spending more time in prayer, more time in God's word, more time being still in his presence have always been a balm to my soul. So why haven't I done that through this month of December? I must be a slow learner. I don't make New Year's resolutions, as when I break them, which inevitably I do by about the 3rd of January, I feel bad, I berate myself, I'm an awful person, blah, 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 blah. So I've learned not to make them. But Proverbs 3, 5-6 is definitely at the forefront of my mind. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do and he will show you which path to take. I lost sight of that this month. I went right inside my head. I went right inside and really lost sight of God's goodness, of God's sovereignty, of God being able to do everything, of God being in control, of God knowing, of God caring. And you know, I just wanted to leave you with this wee verse as we head into 2024. Romans 15:13 says, "I pray that God, the source of hope, will fill you completely with joy and peace because you trust in him. Then you will overflow with confident hope through the power of the Holy Spirit." I'm going to say that again. I pray that God, the source of hope, will fill you completely with joy and peace because you trust in him. Then you will overflow with confident hope through the power of the Holy Spirit. It didn't work for me this month, not depending on God. Yes, I went through the process, don't get me wrong. I haven't fallen back. I've done everything. I've gone through the process, the mechanisms, but I didn't have that heart knowledge of really placing my life into God's hands. And I'm praying for myself and I'm praying for you that you can do that today as we head into a brand new year with brand new troubles, brand new joys. I pray for that peace that passes all understanding for myself and for you. I pray that we would be able to know, even in this chaotic world, even with health issues, even when the last thing we feel like doing is praying. My desire, my prayer for you is that you would know God, not just in your heart, your head, but in your heart too. We'll see more of each other in 2024. I hope I'll still have stuff to share with you. If you are struggling with any of those things and I can listen over email, do get in touch. I am not the answer to everything, but if I can pray for you, if I can just listen, I'd be very happy to do that. I hope I've learnt my lesson this month, even after being a Christian for many, many, many years. Sometimes when you're just not feeling great or you're feeling like everybody's annoying, it's all their fault. That we can just turn to God and remember, I'm so stupid, be still and know that I am God. Well, I'm going to love you and leave you because my dogs sound like they're going mad downstairs and I would need to get the dinner on at some point. I thank you so much for joining me. I trust if you're celebrating tonight that you'll stay safe and that you'll have a good time. We will be in bed before the bells, I'm sure. I'm regularly in bed before my kids anyway, but not much going on around here. And the kids start back to school in a couple of days, so we'll be sorting that, and I'm going to it might never see me again. I'm going to dive deep into the stash and pair up some patterns and yarn. Is it worrying that excites me? Is that make me weird, or do you feel the same way? Anyway, please get in touch with me if you're still watching Fee from Oz. I will be back with the Mal stuff. I will be back with proper podcast and hopefully a lot of cast-ons. Leave me a wee message if you want to say anything. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all your support and encouragement this year. God bless. Happy New Year. Bye.